Welcome to T Lokes, Tucson's local business podcast. I'm your host, L. Connor McEverly, and in each episode, we embark on a journey to connect with the passionate minds behind the businesses and nonprofits that make our community thrive. Join me as I sit down with the owners, visionaries, and change makers who pour their hearts into shaping the local landscape. We explore the challenges, triumphs, and unique journeys that define Tucson's business community. From the corner coffee shop to the innovative startups and impactful nonprofits, T Lokes is your window into the diverse stories that make our city special. Tune in and get ready to get connected. This is T Lokes. Howdy, folks. Welcome to T Lokes, your Tucson local business podcast. I'm your host, L. Connor McEverly, and joining me via virtual meeting today are the Marketing and Business Development Manager and the local leasing manager for the Park Place Mall. It is my pleasure to introduce to the show Jessica Carr and James McGee. Jessica and James, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
We're doing really well.
Good. I'm doing very well as well. Thank you. Thanks for making the time to be on the show.
No, thank you for allowing us to be on the show. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, no, we're very excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So why don't we start off by telling me a little bit about what each of you do for the Park Place Mall?
Yeah, I guess I can go first. So I'm the marketing and business development manager here. So I oversee the marketing program here and business development, which business development is essentially the advertising program here. So not only am I in charge of helping bring more traffic to the center, creating events, the social media, overseeing that, but I also, help businesses in the community advertise their business here at Park Place as well.
I'm James. I'm the local leasing manager here at Park Place. So basically my role is to actually find and network with small businesses in the area in order to actually bring them into the mall, even if it's like pop-up or even a long-term lease up until 2 years. So I sign lease agreements anywhere from pop-ups up until 2 years, basically networking with the community, engaging and actually seeing what's a good fit for the mall on a temp status.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. That gives me a really kind of clear picture of what you guys do. And it leads me to my next question. I mean, you reached out to me, contacting me about a big event that's coming up on the 30th of March. Can you tell me more about this event, please?
Yeah, so it's called Start with a Cart. So essentially what we're doing is we're hosting a pitch competition and we're partnering with Local First Arizona here. And what we are doing is we are essentially giving away one of our carts inside the mall here for free for 3 months to a local business. So we are creating an incubation here at Park Place to help local businesses really grow and expand their business. And this is kind of a great way to help a small business who hasn't quite jumped into the in-person retail market yet, but is ready to make that jump, but might not, have essentially or might not think they have the funds or the ability to do that yet, but we're essentially just giving them a jump start to help them get into in-person retail.
As well as giving them a jump start, is also giving them an experience of actually selling retail inside of a mall, because a lot of people as of right now are selling online or just doing the pop-up markets and different things like that. Mm-hmm. And they don't feel like they are ready to actually come into the mall setting. So it would give them the experience of basically having a cart, and whether or not if you want to have the cart for a long term and whether convert over to an actual inline store. So it's just giving them a lot of exposure and the traffic that the mall that can actually offer.
Yeah, and we want to foster an environment where small businesses can grow their business, and a mall environment is actually perfect for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a great opportunity that you're offering for those who participate in your event. So yeah, it's definitely a great mission to help foster small businesses and those who are looking to kind of start a small retail business. So I know that this event is coming up at the end of the month, but is there an application process? Is there a deadline for applications?
Yeah, absolutely. So the deadline to apply is actually March 8th. And essentially all you have to do is fill out the application that's on the website, which I'm assuming it's going to be included in the show notes.
It is.
But it's going to be parkplacemall.com/start-with-a-cart, which essentially it's just start with a cart with dashes in between each word. But once again, those, that link will be in the show notes and also on our social media page, our Instagram page. You can find that link there as well.
Jessica, you're taking my lines.
I also have my own podcast, so I know how this works.
Fantastic. So for those who are maybe starting a business and have heard the rumor, the statement that malls across America are seeing a decline in visitation, why is that statement inaccurate?
So I wouldn't say it's entirely inaccurate, but it's not accurate here. So we see an average of 7 million visitors a year here at Park Place, and we actually have a really strong, sales and metrics and whatever else for our tenants here because we have a lot of visitors. So Park Place is really, the more I talk to the community about being here at Park Place, the more people have a lot of nostalgia around it. And people actually here in Tucson really care about Park Place. It's been here for, next year will be 50 years. So it actually has a lot of value and sentimental value to the community, and a lot of people shop here. So, I mean, there is like the saying that malls across America are, their visitors are declining, and there's even TikTok videos of empty malls and whatever else. But I think that what makes the difference between a shopping center is the ability to pivot. Like with anything in marketing and business, there's the rule that, with a business, it's either adapt or die. And in order for a shopping center or mall to survive with the ever-changing market, with how people are interacting with online sales, especially, a shopping center has to be able to adapt. And what's cool is I think that we are able to adapt, and especially, the management company, Pacific Retail, is super marketing focused and heavy. They love to have events that are special to the community or community focused. They really listen and care about the local community. And so, for instance, we just had an event this past month with the Tucson Rodeo. So we had the Park Place Rodeo Day, which was a culturally significant event. And across the portfolio, they encourage us to have those events that really care to the community and really cater to them. So if a mall or shopping center isn't willing to adapt or change to cater to their demographic or their markets, they're going to see a decline in visitation. But that's the cool thing about Pacific, is that they are super excited and ready to adapt and change, which makes their properties really do well.
Yeah, and that's super interesting. You guys talking about like putting on extra events to draw the community in. I mean, it seems like maybe one additional benefit is that it physically places you at the heart of your community, being in these spaces.
Yeah.
That's correct. It's just a real important focus of ours to actually do community involvement, because basically the community is what shop at the mall. So therefore you want to make sure you're able to reach the community and continue to have involvement where we actually interacting with the community to let them know that, hey, we're here with you. We care about your opinions and what changes that need to be made and different things like that. And we actually working on to actually one thing that one specific retailer took over, Jessica can add to it, is like they did a survey, a Facebook post in regards to what the community like to see different about Park Place Mall. One of them was the hour change. And so basically after the holiday season, we actually extended the regular hours after the holiday season to more in line with what the community was asking for. So we just like to involve the community, because community here in Tucson, the community support Tucson. So we have to support Tucson. So
yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like there's a great framework for those who want to enter into the mall space for their retail startup, their retail business. And I know we touched on some of the benefits, but are there any other benefits that come to mind for maybe someone thinking about starting a retail business in the mall?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I didn't really notice or really didn't think of before starting my role here and like working in a shopping center or commercial retail So I've been working with small businesses and startups for the last 10 years, from anything from, retail brands to, tech startups. And I've worked with large enterprise retail brands as well. Anyway, I've gone across the spectrum. And it was starting working here that I noticed the benefit of a shopping center to a small business that I hadn't considered. The cool thing is like I mentioned earlier, we have 7 million visitors a year here, and they're all coming here to shop, right? That's what their intention is to spend money and shop for these different brands. And what's really cool for these small businesses is that we have our anchors and our mini anchors. We have, the large national brands here that are really drawing in that traffic. But the small businesses can take advantage of that traffic coming in. So instead of setting up a store or something in like a strip mall or like a standalone retail location where they solely have to bring in traffic through their own marketing, they can take advantage of the traffic coming in from these larger, international or national brands, and they can benefit from that. And they can use that traffic to sell to their to get new clients or new customers, and to sell to them as well.
I would just like to add that basically with the mall, like starting up retail for the mall, basically adding on to what Jessica stated in regards to the traffic that is already here, it actually helps enhance their brand awareness. Because even if someone don't purchase with them today, people actually see the product that they have and can always come back and shop with them. It also bring their online presence as well, because of course, when they go to the store and looking, of course, they connect them with the actual owner of the store and different things like that. There's a lot of the local business in the mall. The owner of the business is actually there working in the store itself. And when people actually see that, they're more willing to support a business that actually they can meet the owner itself. That you can actually put a face to the brand, and the people really support a face to the brand because they're like, okay, I actually see this and I see you actually doing this, and I definitely want to support you. Especially here in Tucson, there's a lot of pop-ups in Tucson, pop-up markets on the weekends. And if you ever attended the pop-up markets, I just moved here in October, and I see that the pop-up markets are very well trafficked. And so of course, anything can happen with the weather or anything like that. But of course, here in the mall, it's covered and is climate controlled indoors. There's nothing against the pop-up markets. But also at the pop-up market, it's only dedicated to a specific demographic. And in the mall itself, it's multiple demographics that they can cater to. So it's just not specific to one demographic of the people that actually come to the pop-up. Is more diverse when it comes to the demographic when you actually in the mall setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes
especially
a lot.
In the summer.
Yeah, definitely the place to be in the summer.
Absolutely.
So if I'm hearing everything correctly, I mean, it sounds like the mall is a great place to set up a retail business because one, there's already traffic going through and there are people who are looking to spend money. One, it increases your visibility and even your personability. A customer comes in, they get to know you, they get to know your business. I guess so with some of these listed benefits, what might be one misconception about using a mall space for a retail setup? I know everyone likes the idea of if you build it, they will come, but we know this isn't always the case. So what might be a misconception?
I would like to answer that question.
Yeah.
One of the main misconceptions is that they think when you actually come into the mall, the rent of the actual inline space or the booth rent is going to be outside of their budget, and then something that they wouldn't be able to pay. But they have that misconception without actually doing their research and seeing what the prices are or different things like that. So without doing the research, they're automatically thinking that, oh, it's going to be too expensive for me to actually set up in a mall. But the one good thing about me with the local leasing, I'm able to set up where you don't actually have to sign a year lease. You can do a pop-up, a weekend pop-up, or you can do a month-to-month to actually see whether or not your product is the perfect match for the demographic and the traffic that we have in the mall itself. So therefore, some people thinking that when you sign a lease for a mall, you have to be here for 2 to 3 years or longer, but that's not the case. There's different things that we can do in order to help you as a business. Another misconception I would say is that people think when they actually sign a lease in the mall that there is no additional support for the actual tenants, and we actually do a lot of tenant support. We do social media posts. We actually go around and actually seeing what they need and different things that we have in the mall. Jessica mentioned the different events that we have. Every event that we have is basically to help drive traffic to their actual particular location. We give them the option or not, whether or not they want to participate or not in each event. They have the option to sign up in order to how do they want to participate in that event itself. So therefore, people can actually come to that location. With the with the fashion show, we just had a fashion show.
Yes.
What's the name of the fashion show?
It was the Palentine's Day fashion show.
And with the fashion show, that each storefront that actually participated in the fashion show, they actually had an after party in their store promoting the actual clothing that they had in the fashion show and different things like that. So it actually increased the engagement and traffic to their store. So we do a lot in order to support our tenants. The main focus of Pacific Retail, of course, is community engagement, but the other major focus is tenant support in order to make sure we actually support the tenants in the way that they need to be.
Right. And I have my own ROI metrics of these events that I put on and how it helps the tenants. So that is absolutely at our forefront of our mind. And with that fashion show, actually, one of our tenants actually reported selling out on the styles that were featured in the fashion show, which was really cool. So it actually did really well. Another benefit, I'm going to kind of go back to that.
That's fine.
That I forgot to mention was that if you're looking to expand your business in the future, we actually have the ability to reach out to our network and our other centers and saying, hey, we have a business that wants to move to, start in California or expand out there. Like, what can we do? And the leasing manager there can actually set them up with a really nice deal to get them into that center as well, so they can expand their business even further. So that's definitely a benefit of being with a shopping center with a great company like Pacific Retail, where we just want to help these businesses grow as much as we can.
Yeah, you guys gave me so much great information. I'm just trying to absorb it all. But using, I think, a phrase that you said earlier, Jessica, it really does seem like you guys are a great incubator of small businesses. And the way that you involve a community, like all these pieces are kind of coming together for me. And I can really see how joining in, getting some mall space could be a really strong benefit in getting more invested in your community and building your business. So that's really fantastic. All these pieces of puzzle in my mind are still clicking together. So I'm still reeling from all this good information. So, you did just share a great anecdote with the fashion show and a fashion store selling out. What might be some other anecdotes you can share, some successes for a retail business that used mall space?
So I've been with the company going on 3 years now, in the actual local leasing role. I can share several businesses that actually grew. So I would speak on one business itself. It started off as a pop-up, and they received so much support just starting as a month pop-up. They went from a month pop-up, then they signed another lease agreement for 3 months. And after that 3 months was over, they was continuing to sell out. Each month they was always selling out. They actually had custom sneakers and custom clothes, and they was always selling out of their merchandise. And they eventually, from signing a pop-up, and they actually went to signing a lease for 2 years. And after that 2 years, their 2 years will be up this month, and they actually re-signing another lease for another 2 years. So it's just basically, it was a small business in the area that actually just was only doing it from their home. And they was like, well, we need more space. And so that was like, we want to try the mall, but we kind of scared and we don't want to sign a long lease because at this moment, we just don't know how the traffic at the mall or the demographic at the mall will actually receive us. So I was like, I like your merchandise and you have really good merchandise, high quality merchandise. Look, how about we just start as a pop-up and then we'll just take it from there, and it just grew from there. So not only that, he actually wants to expand to another location as of right now. So it's just actually trying to get him into the right market in regards to where he can actually run 2 locations instead of just being at that one location. So
Wow. Yeah, that's a great story. And you know, you talking about this story, James, it reminds me of something I want to touch on. You mentioned earlier is the ability for the leasing to be so flexible. I think that's a huge boon for a beginner, any startup really, to get that sort of testing time. That seems really flexible and it makes it way easier to approach.
that's correct, because one of the main things is it's not that we just want to take. I have a different approach. I just do not want to take your money because your success is my success. So if if your business is not successful, then I'm not successful at that, because that means I haven't did what I needed to do in order to put you in the right spot or different things like that. There's a lot of factors that can actually play into that. So therefore, I definitely want you to start off by trying them all out to see if this is a fit for you. Everybody, I couldn't say that every business that actually come through would be the perfect fit, but I want you to try it out yourself to see, how do you feel about this? Are you receiving the right traffic? Are you receiving the right customers? Are you doing the right are we assisting you with the marketing? Are you marketing yourself? Like, what are you doing in order to make yourself boom and actually successful in order to actually sign a longer term lease? Because we don't want you to sign a lease and within a month or two you're not making any sales and you have to close down. That's not my goal. I want you to actually try it out before you actually sign a permanent lease or a long-term temp lease.
Yeah, I think that we're really ROI focused here. That's a big thing in any aspect, especially where I come from a marketing background and I have quite a bit of digital advertising experience behind me as well. And KPIs were a big focus. And if we were not meeting our KPIs or key performance indicators and things were not ROI positive, that's a problem, right? So we want to try to fix that as much as we can and support, our tenants and the businesses here and trying to be ROI positive and having that support and coaching them in their marketing and helping them and support them in any way that we can. So actually the winner of the Start with a Cart event that we're having at the end of the month will actually get a consulting session with me as well for their marketing. And I believe Local First is throwing in some goodies in there for the winners as well. So nice. We really are passionate about helping small businesses really grow and, expand and be successful.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, everything you've said is only a testament to that notion. You guys clearly care very much about the businesses and the community that come through the mall. And yeah, I mean, I'm still blown away. Like, I never realized personally just how much of a community hub a mall could be. So that's kind of blowing my mind right now. But to switch gears a little bit, we've talked about a lot of what you do and how you help small business owners. What are some goals that you guys are striving for now?
Do you want to go first, James?
The goals that we actually striving for right now, I would just say basically just increasing the diversity in the actual product match that we actually sell in the mall right now. We just want to have more of Tucson merchandise in the Tucson in Park Place Mall itself, because basically as I've been here within the short times, I just moved here in October, and I stated earlier and I'll state again, Tucson love Tucson merchandise.
Yes.
So the more Tucson merchandise that we have in the mall itself, it's only going to hike in the level of the mall itself. So we just want more Tucson in Park Place Mall.
Yeah, that's true. When I've been looking for businesses to invite to come into this pitch competition, I've really been trying to focus on businesses that are definitely Tucson based, Tucson focused, but also have like a lot of Tucson pride. So for instance, I was wanting to find a Tucson specific gift for a friend of mine on the East Coast to send him. And unfortunately, like I don't feel like we have a tenant here who has like Tucson specific items. And so we would love some, some tenants here that really bring that Tucson vibe and culture and that pride in here, because I think that definitely, it helps, with that community aspect a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I like about Tucson. It's a very close-knit community. It's kind of like a big little town, as everybody can agree on that. Like
Yeah.
everyone in their niches and their communities knows each other, but everyone's super supportive and amazing. And we would love more Tucson focused brands here.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talent. Tucson have a lot of talent.
Oh my God, there's so much talent
to be displayed. So we definitely want to display the talent of Tucson here at Park Place Mall.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's so true. Tucson is a wonderful interconnected community that has a lot of pride. It's a great place. I've lived here for about 10 years now, and I love it so much. So, I'm sure that right now listening, there are some of these real, true Tucson local businesses, and they're wondering if, maybe getting into the mall space is something that they should do. What are some signs that these businesses should reach out to you?
Well, I would say that if there is a business that has any interest at all in expanding their business or growing their business, reaching a new demographics, reaching a steady, consistent demographic, wants to kind of definitely capitalize on the, 7 million visitors a year traffic of people who are ready to shop, they should reach out to us, whether or not they, start as a pop-up. I would love for them if they think that they're anywhere remotely interested, even if they're not, and they just want a new experience and want to try something new. They should definitely try to, apply for Start with a Cart. We would love to have them. We would love to have them on our pitch competition, and we're actually going to be able to let them sell their products during the event. And so that's a great way for them to test, their product in the environment the day of. And also, if they win, they can test it out for 3 months. But I think that entrepreneurs and small business owners, there's always that like little bit of fear in going to the next step, right? There's always the, I don't know if I'm ready. And what I've noticed or what I've learned in my entrepreneurship community is to start before you think you're ready. Just start. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work out, right? So it's what's my favorite saying? It's fail fast, fail often, right? So that's the biggest thing I think that holds a lot of startups and small businesses back, is that they're afraid that they're not ready, but really they really are. That's, they're just kind of holding themselves back. So they take the leap, they try it out. It's a low risk way to try it out as well. We're not, whoever wins Start with a Cart isn't going to be required to sign a lease at all. And so it's no obligation. They can just come try it for 3 months. And then after 3 months, we can see if they're ready to, sign a lease or not. But we're going to give them as much support as we can to help them get to that step. But yeah, I think that if there's any business who's just ready to take that next step, I mean, even if they don't feel like they're ready and they want to try it, they should. And even if it's not Start with a Cart, doing a pop-up with us on the weekends, our weekend traffic is so heavy. We can definitely get them started in just doing a pop-up, so they don't have to wait for like one of these, pop-up events that James was talking about, that come up with all these different organizations. Like, just try it out for a weekend, see how it goes.
I agree. I would just say one sign to see if you're ready. Just if you're ready to grow and expand, and you're seeing that you need more space, then that's the sign to give us a call.
And there's also a way to do an omni-channel approach with, selling here. You don't have to quit selling online. You can definitely do both in person and online. All the big retailers do it.
Yeah.
A lot of small businesses do it. If you've been selling in your house and you're ready to, try the in-person environment, you don't have to give up selling online either.
Because selling online will actually, basically what I have noticed in the past from a prior property, One of the tenants actually was doing a lot of online sales, but she will have in-store pickup. And when she have in-store pickup, it actually driving the traffic to the store and they actually purchase more items. So
Yeah, that's
that's
actually,
always a plus to that.
and that's
Nice.
something I've noticed with the large enterprise brands that I've worked with as well. So a lot of them would have ads around, and options to do in-store pickup. And that was something every single one of them noticed, is that there'd be additional sales from in-store pickup. So that's one of the reasons why they offered it and advertised it so heavily. It's because they would see an uptick in sales. So having that as an option will only help you sell more product.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that seems like a great way to diversify the kind of income streams. Seems like a really clever idea.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a smart omni-channel approach for sure.
So, I mean, throughout this conversation, which again, thank you so much for having with me, you've illustrated a lot of strengths and how people can build their business better by taking on some mall space. So we know that you have the Start with a Cart coming up at the end of the month. We know that people got to get their applications in by the 8th of March. For those who want to learn more or maybe reach out to you, where can they go? Besides the episode notes with all of your links.
Absolutely. So everyone's welcome to either email us or call us. Our contact information can actually be found at parkplacemall.com. And you can go to, I believe it's the business page.
Yeah. parkplacemall.com/business.
Yes. So that has all of our contact information on there, including our emails. I believe my cell phone number is on there, actually. I had someone reach out to me yesterday about advertising on my personal cell, which is absolutely welcome. So that would probably be the best way to get a hold of us. Or you can even reach out to us through our Instagram page, which is ParkplaceAZ is our handle on Instagram. We're very active and responsive on there as well. And so, yeah, that's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So Jessica and James, we are reaching the end of our time here, but I have one more question for you. What is one thing that you love about Tucson?
I'll go first. I'm not from Tucson. I just moved here in October.
Right.
I would definitely say I love how supportive the community is. By going to a lot of pop-up markets and different things on the weekend, it have been amazing to see how Tucson come out and show love for their counterparts and the business, the local business, small business that actually based out of Tucson. I just love the fact how supportive Tucson, the community of Tucson is.
Yeah, I actually so I'm actually from Salt Lake City originally. And I moved to Phoenix first when I came to Arizona, and I hated it. I was not a fan of Phoenix. I was not a huge fan of the culture and the people I interacted with, and the heat. It just was killing me. So I was actually planning on leaving Arizona altogether. And then I came down to Tucson to visit some friends, and I fell in love with it. Everyone here is so kind and so nice and so supportive, like James said. I love the community down here in Tucson. I love the outdoors and outdoor recreations. The mountains here are just so pretty. And definitely Tucson has quickly become my home. So essentially just what James said, the community is fantastic. I love how everybody is so supportive of each other here.
Yeah, this really is a lovely corner of the world. And I love being here. I'm grateful to be here. Again, Jessica, James, thank you so much for taking the time today to talk to me about what y'all do, how y'all benefit the local businesses in Tucson, what you love about Tucson. It was a real pleasure talking with y'all today, and take care.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. All right, bye-bye now.
And that's a wrap for another episode of T Lokes, your go-to podcast for uncovering the untold stories of Tucson's local businesses and nonprofits. A big thank you to our incredible listeners for joining us on this journey of connection and discovery. Thank you to Jessica Carr and James McGee with the Park Place Mall for coming on the show today, talking about Start with a Cart, and talking with me about how small businesses can thrive using mall space. Show them some love and check out their links in the episode notes.
A huge thank you to Louis Sanders at Soundhouse Publishing for making our unforgettable podcast theme music. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with Tucson's vibrant business scene, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback is invaluable, and it helps us continue bringing you engaging conversations. As we wrap up, remember that T. Lokes isn't just a podcast, it's a community. Let's keep the conversation going on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or our Discord channel and share your thoughts, suggestions, or even recommend a local business or nonprofit you'd like to see featured on the show. Thank you once again for being a part of the T. Lokes community. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep supporting the heartbeat of Tucson. Toodaloo.